Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, thanks for stopping by. Please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be making the simple but chic kimono jacket. If you'd like to see how it was made, please watch this video till the end and let me know your thoughts about it in the comments. I'm going to be making use of a 3-yard fabric. This fabric is 3 yards. This one is, we're going to use less than half yard from this one. And then we have our tape, our scissors, our chalk, and our ruler. I'm going to first fold this fabric into 4. So I'm going to be using the entire length of the fabric. I'm going to be using it because I want it to be long enough. So I'm going to go ahead to fold it into 4. This is the front of the fabric and this is the back. So I'm going to be using the back. I'm going to be using the full length of this fabric. As you can see, I folded it into 2. I folded it into 2, and then I'll go ahead and fold it again into 4. So I'm going to be using a neck width of 3 inches. 3 inches. You mark, and a neck depth of 1.5 inches. This is my 1.5. So go ahead and curve it out all the way out. I'm going to take a vertical measurement of my bust point. Mark my bust point. My bust point is 10.5, which is here. My half length is 15. My hip line is 23. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them out. My bust measurement is 35. Divided by 4 will give me 8.75. 8.75 is this point here. And then I'll add an extra 3 inches allowance. If you want it to be very loose, you can go ahead and add more inches. I'll take the same measurement, 8.75 plus 3 inches. Then at my hip point, measurement of my hip is 41, which is about 10.25 plus 3 inches allowance. So the circumference of my sleeve is around 16 inches. Remember, it's a free gown, so the sleeve is not going to be tight, it's going to be loose, so 16 divided by 2 will give me 8 inches. So I'll mark my 8 inches at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and join these points together. Remember, this was my measurement, my bust measurement plus 3 inches allowance here, which is the same I took here. This is my hip measurement plus 3 inches allowance. Now I'm joining it to this point right here, and then I'm going to take this measurement all the way down. This is 13.25, so you're going to take this 13.25 all the way down. Connect the circumference of the sleeve to the bust point with a curve like so. And cut. When you're done cutting, place the fabric sideways, as you can see on the video, and mark out a V-shaped line from the neckline down to the half length using your ruler. At the bottom part of the fabric, go in by 1 inch and go up to the V-shaped line and connect both of them. Connect the two lines together. Then towards the side, notch 2 points where the pockets will go in between the half length and the hip line. When you're done cutting out the fabric, measure the areas you have cut and cut out using another piece of fabric around 2.5 inches wide, and use that piece of fabric and attach to the entire circumference of the areas you just cut, leaving around 2 or 3 inches extra allowance on the piece of fabric, and then sew it round the entire circumference of the fabric you already cut. And when you're done, make notches throughout the seam to help it to relax, and then give it a good press using your iron. And this is the outcome. You can go ahead and hem the sleeves and then top stitch the fabric you just attached using a matching thread, and ensure that your hands are straight so you can have a straight and clean seam. I went ahead to do mine behind the camera using a matching thread. So I'm going to cut out my own piece of pockets. Now I'm outlining it using my hands. These are two pieces of fabric on the wrong side, and then I've outlined the shape of the pocket using my hands. I'm going to go ahead and cut it all the way round. If you've watched this video up to this point, thank you so much. It means you find it interesting and helpful. Why not click on the subscribe button and like this video if you haven't. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the second piece of fabric, and I'll measure out a 6-inch space on my cloth. Mark the wrong side of the fabric using X, and then you can know the difference between the front and the back. Now I'm going to attach the front part of this pocket piece to the front part of the seam on the fabric, like you can see, using some pins to hold them in place. You can see that this is the right side of the seam beside the fabric you're making, and then I'm going to attach this other pocket piece to the front part of the seam on the fabric. Yes, using a pin. The trick is ensure that the length of your pocket piece is at least 1 inch more than the space you left on your fabric, so that you have at least 1 inch above, and half inch above and half inch below. Now I have attached, you can see where the point of my stitch, the end point of my stitch on my fabric is. That's that point. So my pocket piece is a little bit above, around half inch above that point. And now I'm going to go to my sewing machine and sew it up on the wrong side, and then open it up to the right side and top stitch it. Always ensure to iron your project. For every seam you make, ensure to iron it. Then we're going to go over to the next one and stitch it on the wrong side. Then open it up and top stitch it on the right side. And of course, give it a good press using your iron. When you're done, sew up the remaining part of the pocket, the curved part of the pocket, starting from the end point of the seam, the seam above, and then You continue to curve your pockets until you get to the beginning point of the lower part of the seam on the fabric. I hope this makes sense. Yeah. Open it up and that's it. Finally, hem the lower part of the fabric like you can see me doing. Fold it and hem it. And voila! Here is the end result of our project. I mean, take a look at this gorgeousness. Take a look at how beautiful this came out. Wow. I hope you will be giving this a try. And let me know your thoughts about this video in the comment section. I'll be glad to hear from you. Till I come your way next time, thanks for stopping by and stay blessed.